Yeah. 7:31, we'll call the meeting of the North Sherborn Water Sewer District Commission, Interim Commission meeting to order. Tonight's agenda is, I don't even know, if we have minutes, we'll review those. Kennedy, Wilson, and Toll Brothers are supposed to help us go through the next agenda item, which is to review the draft general bylaws and the water and sewer regs that we need to pull together. And then and any other plans we happen to have time for. Drought management plan, and the business plan will be later. Any updates on anything, intermunicipal agreements, we can discuss after that. And that's about it. If we can we talk about a new member of our commission, or do we not have any update on that? We don't have Jeremy tonight, so we might not be able to.
We haven't, maybe Steve would know, the select board has to.
We were gonna re-advertise.
Re-advertise, okay.
Yeah. Actually, Jeannie probably would have known. Is Jeannie still here?
We can call her.
Jeannie's there.
We should cook off quick.
We just lost our member. All right. Are there any updates to the agenda other than discussing the status of the new commission member? Does she know? It's been posted. All right. Well, we just discussed it. All right.
There's also on the agenda, the intermunicipal agreements.
Yep. We get an update on that. Great. And that's about it. Okay.
I feel like talking to, or do you have to approve these?
We need to approve the agenda before we forget. Is that,
Okay.
do you have anything to add to it? All right.
No, I was just, Jared's not on there, and I just wanted to make sure we fit him in.
Yes.
That's the one thing that.
Wait, isn't that on?
We need to shoot. We need to add that as well. We need to add Jared, and we can,
And Will Adams.
and Will,
Liz
yeah,
are here.
they are here.
Kennedy Wilson.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So, Jared, can you hang out
Yep, I'm
while
available.
we're, okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we'll add you, after, at some point. We'll have to see how this goes. Okay.
Dr. Kennedy, maybe?
Anyone have a motion in regard to the very messy agenda?
Wait, so just to be clear, we've amended the agenda by doing what?
We've added Jared's discussion with Jared, but should we do that? We kind of have to prioritize. I don't know what we have to prioritize. Everything's important at this point.
Yeah.
But we have Toll and Kennedy Wilson and Liz with us. And I think they were going to try and help us go through some of our regulations and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we better start with that,
Okay.
I would say. Okay. So we're going to add Jared once we finish that discussion.
All right, then I move to approve the agenda as amended.
And I second.
Okay. Vote.
All in favor?
Steve.
Aye.
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Aye.
Josh. Okay. Andrea, aye. Okay. Okay.
Minutes.
Let's
do the
hold
minutes.
on that because
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Anything
I
that
don't
doesn't
think they're the right
require-
ones anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can
Okay.
talk about that.
Take care of Kennedy.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for
I think
joining.
Jared can do all our talking.
Liz, I think you were connected to our which you probably won't be able to find very easily, but you were connected to our share file that
Yep.
has some drafts that we've been working on. We have I think it's like September 8th.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, and it
Is
should
that
be
the current one then?
that is one that is red line strikeout. It has our changes.
The bylaw, sorry.
I'm talking about the bylaw. Are you on the bylaw?
Yes, I am on the bylaw, and I was looking to see if I could. Oh, I can share it. I have your drive open right now. So, yep,
Great. Maybe we can just kind of walk through that a little bit and
absolutely.
okay. We did add some things.
Great.
And still have your comments, so
Okay.
Liz, with this last version of the bylaws that we have, actually it's dated August 2025. So if whenever it's updated, would everybody please change the date?
yeah, on the cover. I should change the date on the cover. It should have been
Yeah.
September 8th.
Header as well.
And the header?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay.
I'm looking to see if I'm allowed to make changes. I don't know if I have that permission. Let's see. Okay.
I don't know who, are
I
you able?
can I can download this tonight and make changes while we talk through it and then re-upload it. And I'll
Okay.
make sure I have the current date. So just give me a second here while this thinks through downloading.
It's a Word file, right, Liz?
It is a Word file. It should be pretty seamless. There we go.
So we have access to that file too.
Okay.
We need to get straight, what our process is, I think, for making revisions or asking questions in the file. We have it in the share
Yep.
file, not in the share, whatever you call it. So
Yeah.
we all have access to it. It's a doc file. We can all revise it, but we don't want it to be the Wild West. So I think if anyone makes a significant revision, it needs to be redated with your name and the date of your revision, and then upload as a separate file in the share file, because otherwise,
Okay.
sorry to be demanding about this, but honestly, having written a bunch of things like this as a group, it can get pretty messy if a lot of people are revising without discussion. So
Okay. When
there
I
are revisions, we need to go through them.
okay. Yeah. When I
Ask-
save this back, I will redate it. I've already redated it to January 26th. I'll put that date in the title. And I am using track changes. So I have a no markup on, but if I turn the markups all on, you can see what I've changed.
Yeah, I think we can all keep track changes too. That will be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I agree.
Are you able to change that highlighted first page, or am I looking at an old? Maybe I'm not looking at the most recent version yet.
Can you see my screen? What did
I can, but it says in highlight August. It still has the August date on the cover
Yeah,
page.
that's the one that you sent around to us.
That is the one I sent around. She was just going to update.
Oh, you know what happened? Hang on, I have
That's
to
the one
stop
in the share
sharing.
file.
I shared my window, so you were not seeing what I just did. Okay. Can you see it now? January?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, could you put in the date, like January, whatever,
29,
26?
20.
29 today's.
29, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm gonna just scroll down to I guess, just structure wise. The goals here is really one, to give the commission authority to establish regulations, to enforce them, and to kind of give a sense on how the commission is running a little bit. So, your bylaws are your big overarching picture, and then we can break down to regulations because now you have the authority from the bylaws to make them. Marion, you get to correct me if I say anything wrong here.
Oh, it's fine.
Sure.
All right.
I do have some questions when you get to powers and duties. So.
Okay, yeah. Establishing the authority of the district, membership in terms. I think I had highlights here. It looks like you guys.
So I just cut and pasted from I forgot what document it was,
The legislation.
legislation, thank you. I just
Oh.
cut and pasted from that. But interestingly, it talks about a chair, but it doesn't talk about any other leadership positions. Or whatever.
Of the commission.
Yeah, of the commission. It just mentions the chair. I don't know what other specific.
Right, there was more in the.
There was?
That we can add to that.
All right, so I'll.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, yep, I'll look for that. I don't know why I didn't, okay.
Okay.
And I think the legislation names the two largest users. Because in the future, who knows if there may be another rental project in that area. So we have to be a little more specific.
Okay.
But we can work on that. We know the legislation pretty well.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I had this comment for toll. So, and I guess the owner acting under agreement with the commission shall initially serve as the responsible party for construction, operation, and maintenance of the sewer infrastructure serving Coolidge and Meadowbrook and ensuring compliance with the district bylaws, MWRA sewer use, and all applicable state and federal laws. Really, this is done because we are the only discharger into the sewer system initially, and we are discharging into a force main that will be private, I believe, moving forward, just because it is challenging to add other pressurized flow into a force main. So had it structured so they are maintaining it.
We put owner and I mean, we took the specific company name out.
Okay.
But, we put owner. I'm not sure why we decided on
I
owner.
know.
We need to define that better.
Yeah.
I think we were expecting more people tying in or possibly tying in, but doesn't look like it in the near future.
Right, the owners, in this case, owners, yes, with an S. We need to revise that a little bit, make it more specific. Shall initially serve as the responsible party. This is the sewer system.
Yeah, I think.
And that is good, but I think somewhere, maybe not here, but in a developer agreement with the district or the town, we have to define more clearly.
Yep.
Under what circumstances the North Sherborn Water Sewer District takes ownership of the sewer system. That is the sewer system that's running under the Sherborn streets and into Natick.
Do we ever take ownership of it?
And do we ever? Yeah. And if not, then what's the relationship with this system and the town of Sherborn, for example, or the district for that matter?
Yeah. Okay. So the district has the ability to add a sewer system that can sewage the whole district ultimately. Right now, so that's your authority and what we are granting through the ITA, with the provision that WRC is putting onto us that a user can't have a private well and discharge into the public sewer system. So Toll and Kennedy Wilson are owning and operating their own force main and will have an easement to do so. And I think the intent is that they will have that in perpetuity, but other infrastructure could come along and be installed within the district that could either be public and or private. And I can show you where this is defined is under, I think in the definitions under the regulations. And this is something that came directly from, nothing's responding right now. I don't know why. Directly from the town of Framingham bylaws. So,
But that's water, not sewer.
yeah, so Framingham, you're correct. I should caveat that a bit more. Framingham had, we are connecting water. The town of Natick didn't have specific requirements like Framingham did to, if you're connecting, you have to follow our regulations. But when drafting these, so I had nothing to go off of for the sewer regulations. So I did go back to Framingham because they did seem to have a good, well thought out bylaw. Can you see the sewer bylaws on my screen, or do I need to?
Let's see, it's hard to see both of
Okay.
these. We're still on the operating
It
authority.
says operating
Okay.
authority sewer system.
Let me see if I can.
I think, without wordsmithing, I'd like to just understand better how this is going to work. If Toll Brothers Kennedy Wilson retains in perpetuity their own force main, and I understand that you can't just hook up to a force main.
Yeah.
If anyone else using the Natick MWRA sewer system would have to make their own force main. So it's unlikely that's going to happen anytime soon, but in the future, if it did.
Yep.
We have to anticipate that.
Right, because ultimately these bylaws are generic, right? So it needs to cover any
Yes.
potential future sewer connections that might be made. So I guess that would be the reason why we wouldn't want the specific name of a developer in the bylaw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would need to, where we say owner, somewhere, owner needs to be defined as to what that means.
Yes.
But essentially, if we say, if for example, with the MBTA zoning, somebody could build a big thing there. And I mean, logically, they're probably going to tie into Framingham because they're right on the Framingham line. But let's say for the sake of argument that they were to decide to tie into Natick, they would probably build their own infrastructure and have their own force main and everything. But that situation should still be covered by the bylaw here, right?
It is. So what this is saying is initially, Toll and Kennedy Wilson are going to act as the sewer superintendents. They own all the infrastructure. They're going to do that. If upon another connection comes in, they are terminated as the sewer superintendent and shall terminate the owner's operation role and appoint a sewer superintendent or a qualified entity to assume that responsibility. So that's in here. So we're going from the initial kind of agreement that Toll and Kennedy Wilson are building and operating the infrastructure initially. And then if the district expands, then we need to expand the role of either the contract you have under agreement for the water and have that entity take over billing and maintenance, or appoint a sewer superintendent to do so.
With the same infrastructure to your two large developments that will be the only users of the sewer for a while, for sure. With that infrastructure in place, there still may be a change of ownership. That is the condo, the elderly age restricted development is a condo organization. It'll have a homeowners association. And
Yeah.
we have no idea in the future whether Kennedy Wilson will sell that whole rental um development to some other rental, administration company of some kind. That is,
So
we
we're
have
gonna put
that
this
far in
on.
the options.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put this on Will's action item list, and he's gonna work back with his team to help us clearly define the entities that will initially be operating this, and how we're defining that. I think we can't just say owner because that is too broad, and I think it would need a definition around it. So it'll be the homeowners association. I don't know. Will, help me out here. Who's operating this?
Thanks for throwing me on the spot, Liz. I have very little help for you right now.
But we'll get the bottom of the answer. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we need kind of ongoing ownership covered and future additional force mains
Okay.
for areas in the district covered somehow. I don't know how to do it either, honestly, but
We are allowed to update the bylaws later,
we are,
correct?
yeah.
This
Yes.
isn't a one and done.
No,
No.
it is not.
True.
So
And Liz, what was
Depending
your
on-
question?
Yeah.
You're trying to identify ownership?
yeah, and this paragraph, I think I had
Yep.
initially written it as Toll Brothers and Toll Apartment Living acting under agreement with the commission shall necessarily serve as the responsible party as the sewer superintendent. So you're on the hook for complying with
Mhm.
MWRA requirements and all of that because you're the only entity. And we just need to make sure we define that party correctly. You know, is it Kennedy Wilson and Toll Brothers? Is it
Yeah.
the future
No, it
HOA
should-
association?
Yeah, it's
So
going to ultimately be that ownership entity, right? Whether it's
yeah,
homeowners association A and apartment building owner B, right?
so is it
Right.
the ownership entity? Is that actually just, is it as simple as that?
Could be.
Entities, because it's two separate
Yep.
things.
Yep, you're right. See, Will, you solved it.
All right, I can go back to sleep now.
I'll yell your name if we need you. Okay.
Yeah,
That-
and then the point before that, 1.4.1 is operating authority of the water system. There wasn't much there, so I guess we need to flesh that out.
Meaning you want more on what the responsibilities will be? What do you,
Well, the water system, will be, that is the shared portion on
oh,
top
okay.
of the water system will be owned by the North Sherborn Water Sewer District.
Yep.
I don't know exactly where this should be, probably in a developer agreement or something, but I'm not sure anywhere on paper it's been defined exactly when the developers, you guys, will turn over the ownership of those water pipes, those shared water pipes in the road, to the North Sherborn Water Sewer District. And there are various ways that could be done. Stop me if I'm kind of running amok here, but it could be when the water starts flowing to one of your projects. Certainly not all those units are going to be using water at once. But once even one unit of the EA or the apartment building is using the water, of course, they also have to be using the sewer by then, but then at what point is the shared infrastructure on town land? At what point is that turned over to the North Sherborn Water and Sewer District And I would argue that we probably wouldn't want to wait until all the units are filled, all the buildings are complete. I think it should be much earlier than that. That is
It has to be.
when it starts to be actually used.
Yeah, which is going to be fairly immediate because we have those three entities near the town line that are going to be billing off of it. So you have um it's Sherborn, is it Sherborn Commons, and then the um
Residences, yeah.
yeah,
Farm.
the farm and the residents. So those three entities are already served by Framingham through an old connection that was installed, they estimate maybe in the 40s or 50s, with the exception of the condos which connected in 2000. And what Framingham is requiring is that when we lay the new line, we take their services and hook them into the new line versus having them being fed from this old asbestos concrete water main that nobody really knows where it is, and that the metering will be taken over from Framingham and going to that central meter, and become responsibility of the district. So I think that once the infrastructure is constructed and we have water flowing in it, it's immediately turned over upon like maybe a commissioning process or an agreement with you guys, that it's been constructed to your standards.
Right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But a question is, I would say, I'm not the engineer here. Sorry, Jeremy's not here. Or Liz, maybe you can answer this. If the water pipes are laid down the street, they're gonna be first laid in front of those properties that are already on a separate old water pipe.
Yep.
I assume that you're not gonna be running water, nobody's gonna be using that water until the pipes are completed all the way to the wherever they're gonna go down Coolidge Street. I think those three properties could be added once the infrastructure is in place. I mean, I don't know, but we need to figure it out. Because once the infrastructure is in place, the infrastructure has to be transferred to the North Sherborn Water District, and then we're responsible.
Yeah, my instinct is that that's 4,000 linear feet. So when you bring a water main online, you have to go through a disinfection process. And to disinfect 4,000 linear feet of water in one slug is a pretty heavy undertaking. And we also have to find a place to discharge all of that chlorinated water after we're done, and it's super chlorinated. So I think that it will be incrementally turned on, and that we'll be connecting kind of as we go, just thinking through that. But I can circle back with my team and get their read on it as well.
It may just
I
be a
see
matter of.
Jared kind of nodding here too.
So
Yep.
your concept is
Congressman.
the whole infrastructure would be turned over to the water district once the whole thing is in place down to Coolidge Street and it's been disinfected. Is that correct? Or in any case, it needs to be defined.
Yep. Okay.
And I see Sean
Yeah.
Colleen.
I was going to say,
Oh.
Sean can speak and I can
Sean.
comment if needed after.
Okay, we should get it back to the
Sean,
Can you hear me?
I can't, I don't know how. Yeah, Sean, we can hear you kind of.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. I don't think the water line's gonna be late. I think once you start the work, it's gonna be a little bit of a mad rush to switch the main over to get at least the apartment building and the farm on. Because you're gonna install the master meter and almost disable what's there. So you're not going to have the entire line run. The system, the billing will have to be figured out beforehand, so you can immediately get the apartment building over while you're building the rest of the infrastructure. And one
Yeah.
other thing that came up in Framingham, that's kind of key. I never knew this. I don't think anyone knew this prior, but there's actually sewer going back to Framingham in that apartment building. So this North Sherborn Water District's going to have to handle that billing. But either way, that'll all have to be ahead of the entire system being built, because theoretically the system's not built and signed off until the entire system's built. And you'll probably be running that main before you even really have the road punched in, or maybe at the same time. So it's not really a clear cut thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's much different, and I'm not an attorney, but I don't think it's that much different than the way you guys hand over, if you're doing a development with townhouses where you're handing over some of the infrastructure, and it sits in limbo until you have a certain percentage of the units sold. This isn't that much different than that.
Yeah,
North
I
Shore
mean,
Water District has to function and they have to be able to bill, but that doesn't mean the ownership's going to be handed over. It's certainly not going to be signed off as complete until, I don't know, a year later, maybe more. Right?
yeah, so for one, we have to have the billing figured out just to get our ITA. So that will definitely be figured out before we're even in the ground in construction. And then I guess with water infrastructure, it's always a little messy, right? Because usually when we say, yeah, we're doing a new subdivision road and we're constructing that before it's turned over to the town would still have control over that system. Meaning if there was a lag in when the public roadways were accepted, they're still operating the water system as soon as it's online. And they're usually out there doing inspections and signing off on that. So water is typically quick just because it is a sensitive and like it's a public health concern, and usually water districts and superintendents want to control their system very closely.
I guess I'm trying to hear the answer to the question that's in my head, and I don't hear it yet, which is, at what point does the ownership of the infrastructure get turned over to the North Sherborn Water Sewer District? And I would hope that it's not going to be as late as the last unit being sold.
No,
It
it'll
sounds like
be,
it's immediate. It sounds like
Yeah.
it's at the time the first house goes online, we own it. That's what I'm hearing.
But it's,
Or-
if it's still under construction, we don't really want to own it until. the
let's
infrastructure-
pause on that as well. So I think the way Jeremy is requesting that we do this is for the Coolidge Crossing in Meadowbrook, he's putting in the requirement of one property, 1 meter. So we're required, I believe he's leaning towards requiring us to have master meters at our front doorstop. So behind our property line, we own it.
Yes,
And you
That's
own
correct.
what's in the right of ways. Does that help you kind of work through this a bit?
well, yes and no, that is my understanding too, is,
Yep.
but up to the property line, the North Sherborn Water District will own it.
Yes.
And at what point is that transfer of ownership made, is what I'm trying to get at.
To us from,
From the
So-
developers
yeah.
to us.
I don't think we ever own it. I think we're constructing it and you're accepting it that it's constructed in accordance with the plans. We're not obtaining easements in the right of ways. We are building this infrastructure as a mitigation benefit to the town for our development, but I don't think Toll or Kennedy Wilson ever own this outright.
Oh, okay.
Is there a warranty on it of any kind?
That's a good question.
I mean, you put it in,
That's a
you
great question. Haven't, yeah.
put it on within a week, within the first year, if something happens, we own it.
I mean, I can't see how that would work if we own it while you guys are having it constructed. That's really legally complicated.
Probably gonna have to
We need some
sign off
lawyers.
on
Or would,
sections.
or would you just do that on a license agreement?
I can.
So the license agreement would be
Jared
between
was gonna say something.
you guys and the North Sherborn Water District, Water Sewer District.
Have any info, Jared? Did you have something you wanted?
My thoughts would be, I mean, activation is the easy word from my language of, I think Sean may have educated me a little bit on maybe the stages that this might go in. So the simple answer would be if it was being constructed in full and disinfected in stages or in full, a clean bacteria sample and it's ready for activation, and DEP would be part of that process, right? When DEP gives the blessing that this is ready to be activated, they've signed off on the system. From the constructability perspective, we know that everything is finished, done, satisfied, construction wise, and flushed and good. Then you could say, like, okay, it's handed over. Your contract operator is going to assume operational responsibilities and the work is complete and it's activated, ready for use. But if you're going to do it in stages, because there's certain customers that are going to need to connect as you go, you could potentially turn over the ownership, as each phase is activated, right? Constructed, disinfected, sampled. DEP's aware that you're going to activate that to the one user. Then you make the tie over, let them go live, and then future construction phases get turned over as they're each activated. That would be, bigger municipal systems obviously have developers come in and build out their systems, and then they take it over again once it's constructed, ready to be used and useful. So
is
Yeah,
this
so it could be turned over in stages. That
Yeah.
answers my question.
so is this a separate developers agreement? I don't think this lives in the bylaws necessarily. Because I think it's something that's going to become a little bit more clear as the design unfolds and we have stages.
Okay.
Okay.
We can agree to that. The
Okay.
process.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Jared, if as a contractor, let's say you're operating the system, you able to take over small sections at a time and ramp up to it sequentially, or how does that work?
yeah, I haven't seen the design, but if there are the appropriate number of valves to isolate sections and you've got hydrants and things to facilitate the flushing and disinfection and protection of the active users from the PEEP side that's being constructed, disinfected, and so tested. Yes, is the answer? As long as it's kind of got the right infrastructure there to facilitate the phasing, yes, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Are we moving on?
I have a quick aside, just in terms of cost estimating, and so Jared or his team can write a proposal. Liz, you mentioned, I saw an email where you mentioned a scope of work for a water superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we can work together on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's sort of a separate item, but important because we can't finish these documents, I don't think, without having someone on board, the business plan, that's like, and even the cost estimating, I'm kind of switching subjects, but these things, we need to do this in parallel.
Yep. Okay.
Jared, would your company would the water operating company be the superintendent Is that how it works? Or do we need a superintendent of our own?
No,
No, yeah.
We work under some different structures. Sometimes we work for a board of water commissioners. Sometimes we work for a single representative that represents the water system for the entity. Sometimes we work for a superintendent or a clerk, or so we just need somebody to report to. But DEP requires at least one formal person who's legally responsible to answer to the water system, to the state. So you can choose your structure if it's a clerk or a board of commissioners, or you can have a board of commissioners with one person making day-to-day decisions. But the board of commissioners is responsible for the bylaws and the entity. But
Okay.
it's flexible. It just depends on how you want to set it up. But
Okay.
if you had this board here, and one point of contact responsible for DEP, and anybody in the town that was going to coordinate with us on day-to-day decision making, that's fine.
So maybe we define a clerk under membership. That.
Yep.
And then with responsibilities.
So would the clerk typically be a member of the Board of Commissioners, or would that be?
Sometimes not. There's some towns we have a larger town, they have a full-time water clerk and then the separate board, or sometimes the person is the DPW director or something of that nature. And so sometimes it's a dual-rolled person as well.
I guess the complication here is that this water district is a separate entity than the town of Sherborn. So we would not be appointing a Sherborn town employee to do any work within the district. So it's like that separation. Like right now we're like semi-combined, so Marion and I, for example, we're interim commissioners. We're both members of the select board, but once this all gets going, basically Marion and I are rolling off. The commission is going to be, basically separate. Two of the members will be appointed by the town, but in terms of the operations, we're not going to be utilizing town employees really. So I feel like we would like to have to employ as few people as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this appears to be a pretty straightforward water system. I don't expect a lot of daily, even monthly decision making. There's going to be invoices that need to be processed and approved, so on and so forth. But theoretically, with new construction, not a lot of active moving parts. There's probably not a lot of direction or decision making. We or any other operator you choose would be making on a routine basis. So.
Yeah. So it would be logical if the commission, in terms of officers in the commission, there would be a chair and then there would be a clerk. So the clerk would be the person that was kind of the point of contact, basically.
Yep. And then just keep in mind too, in emergencies and things of that nature, there needs to be some kind of chain of command and ability to reach somebody to make a decision or get notices out if in an emergency. So whoever's going to play that point of contact, we need to have some expectation of how we reach them or a backup.
Have you had situations where you've been delegated a certain level of flexibility during emergencies to give you decision-making power, or
Yeah, typically our routine contracts are, we're going to do A, B, C, D, and that's part of our base fee. And we, mutually agree that there are regulatory and emergency actions that have to happen. They have to be done by a licensed entity, and we perform those on a time material basis. So our contract says base fee for this scope, emergency, regulatory, public health and safety, things of that nature. We can take the action, do what's needed, and just charge on the T&M basis. But
okay, good. I'm glad you're not out there with the broken water main trying to get a hold of someone in the middle of the night. That, just trying
Yep.
to, I mean, we have a volunteer commission, so trying to make this not a second job for anyone.
Liz,
So.
we're going to call you since you designed it.
Yeah, there you go. That's her home number. Yeah.
Will's gonna give me an apartment now, I think, so I'll be nice and
There.
close. Okay. That's good feedback. Okay. Article 2, the ability to make rules and regulations. It looks like this was pretty straightforward for you guys. Gives the commission the authority to adopt rules and regulations and permits as well. So just identifying common permits that you may see, connections to the system, so requiring people to come to you prior to connecting, coming to you prior to shut off or turn on. Industrial discharges are something that you're not just allowed to do, and there's no industrial properties in the district without approval from the commission and MWRA, and then also doing any work. So just basics here. And then enforcement, I think, is one of the key things to always identify when you're granting and creating authorities, is making sure you can enforce it. So giving you the ability to enforce any sort of violations or penalties in here. And again, a lot of this is based off of kind of what I saw in Framingham. I also pulled other water district regulations, Grafton. And then Linfield is also a new district under operation. And right of entry as well. It's pretty important to give your operating entity the ability to go on. So if there was a broken hydrant on Meadowbrook and they weren't responding, we don't want to waste water, this would give you the right of entry, and then you would probably back bill Meadowbrook for fixing their private hydrant. So just making sure
Liz,
you're
I have a little comment on that one. May enter private property at reasonable times. Reasonable is not a very good legal term because.
Okay, fair.
And I think maybe may enter private property with with advanced notice. I mean, we'd have to define the advanced notice that they need. So I just, let's get rid of the reasonable time and make it more specific and a little more useful.
Do we want to give them advance notice if we're inspecting violations?
I didn't quite get that.
Do we want to give any advance notice at all?
I can't imagine if it's an emergency of some kind. What
It's an emergency, but if it's an enforcement, you don't want to tell them that you're going to show up on Thursday to look at their illegal connection.
That's right.
Why not?
I mean, as long as your language is
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
as long as your language is strong on your recourse of being able to shut off the water. I don't, again, I'm not sure what the infrastructure is going to look like. If you have curb stops to every service and you've got language in here that says if there's violations and things and they don't provide access, right, that the entity has the right to stop the flow of water, shut off the water, and then until payments or corrective actions done, right, it won't be restored, things of that. But
okay,
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Who's going to shut off somebody's water?
Well, that's part of my water questions that I
part
have.
of our job. It's not always fun. But there are rules in Massachusetts too about wintertime, right? If heating systems require water, things of that nature, there are boundaries at which we can and can't legally do it. And I don't know the mechanics of this and what type of housing and stuff it is. There may be rules around what can or cannot be shut off due to lack of payment, things of that nature. So.
So you have shut off connections before?
Yep, for lack of payment or other violations and things. Usually notices are given, right? So non-payment, delayed payment, flyers, notices go out with whatever structure of warning is in your bylaws. And then if they reach that threshold that they've still not paid or whatever action, then like say we had to do a cross connection survey and they won't provide us access to the building despite X number of notices, then we go out and shut off the water to the building till they've rectified that situation.
So
Yeah, speaking of infractions, back up under 2.3.3, notice and non-criminal criminal disposition. I'm not sure you should put a dollar value in there on the offense.
okay.
Because, that could change. I saw a state law that had 300 per offense at this point. But this has to be valid for a long time, so we don't know what that value should be.
Shouldn't the value be stated somewhere?
Yeah. It's got to be there because if there's an
Yeah,
offense,
maybe it
it'll
does have to be.
start.
Right. Yeah, because if it's not here, then where would the number be?
Yeah, good point.
We can revisit,
We could revisit.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where, as time goes on, if the number needs to go up, then you just change the bylaw.
Yeah.
Or the regulation rather, not the bylaw.
we can decide if you want a different number, we can put it.
Okay.
I think our odds are pretty low at this point. Having
Of collecting.
or the odds are good at collecting, and the odds are pretty good that no one's going to have an offense. We only have 4 customers.
Yeah. And 2 of them are building the whole system.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So right of entry, are we just deleting the reasonable time? And holding it, or are we putting notice?
I don't have a problem with reasonable, but I don't mind changing it either.
May enter the right of entry would
With advance notice. With
Just put advance notice to inspect. May enter private property with advance notice to inspect for compliance.
I mean,
Is the advance notice just the knock on the door?
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
We're not going to knock the door down.
What about reasonable advance notice?
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think reasonable was the term that we didn't like before.
I think but what they mean is like, 8 to 5 or 8 to 10. I think the time of day, like we were not going to knock on the door at 2 a.m. or something. Isn't that
Should
what
it be? Yeah, like be during normal working hours? Is that?
Yeah.
restricted to that.
You wouldn't.
You don't know
Yeah.
what's gonna
happen?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
May enter private property to leave it out.
I mean, what if we
Yeah, just leave it out.
May enter private property to inspect.
I think,
compliance.
hey,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
Okay. Article 4, prohibited discharges and pre-treatment requirements for sanitary systems. I mean, this is really all coming from either the multi-sector, not the multi-sector, the MS4 general permit, which regulates stormwater discharges for urban areas in the state through the EPA, or from MWRA requirements. So we're making sure that we're not doing what's considered an illicit discharge, which would be stormwater going into your discharges. The MWRA has asked that I add in dewatering discharges as well from construction projects. So that was one of their comments. And that's
Okay.
because if you had a dewatering discharge from a construction project going into the sewer system, which goes to MWRA, you would need a separate permit from the MWRA to do it. So they're like, yeah, just prohibit them given that, we're in a more rural area. We're not in like Boston where you would need to discharge to your sewer system. So
Is that added already?
I just
I don't-
added it right here.
Okay, okay, great. Yeah, okay.
I guess I can add it. And then yeah. Grease traps. This is just requiring grease traps if you need it, so we're not clogging and gunking up our sewers. Another standard provision. And then water conservation. So a requirement of the ITA, Interbasin Transfer Act, that we don't just run water and waste it. The goal of the ITA for an existing water system would be to get your flows down to 65 gallons per day per capita, so 65 gallons per day per unit. We're coming in and putting in new infrastructure with brand new buildings, new plumbing fixtures. We don't have the extensive leak detection and repair that you would need on an older system, but we still need to have some level of that service captured for annual reporting. Jared can add more to that if you'd like.
I would say if you're using Framingham's, you're getting the water from Framingham, and I would try to match or mirror any of their language where appropriate so that the two systems coincide with each other. And then if you have DEP, I don't know who's going to be restricting your flows, so to speak. So if Framingham is putting limits on your...
There is no flow limits. We just went over this with the MWRA. We will be reporting annually or maybe biannually to the MWRA what our flows are. And if we go over our ITA, we either have to revisit and re-permit our ITA, or then we're going into a what's going on and trying to troubleshoot and reduce. So it's nobody's shutting anything off. Nobody's putting any sort of like restriction valve, because you can't restrict water to all these people because of a permit level limit. So
yeah.
Well, that said, we do have a limit to the total amount of water that Framingham is willing to provide us. We're a customer of Framingham as well as the MWRA here. So we do have a limit on that, and it's calculated according to the 55 gallons a day per person.
it's calculated much higher than that. So we're calculating when we do that 0.8 million gallons per 0.08 million gallons per day factor comes in from going on the peak day, the peak hour on the peak day. So it's your high use. It's not your average day. And we need to work through if the MWRA is viewing us holistically, so on an annual basis, which is much more forgiving, or if they're reviewing us just on a day-to-day, which sounds exhausting. So I'm not sure if that's listed in your IMA, but something I'd like to look through and understand as we're moving forward with these documents.
Actually, it is specified in the IMA. I don't have the figures.
The gallons per day total?
The IMA does allow some overage on it, daily or short-term basis. But the IMA, we're in trouble with the IMA if we go over a certain amount per year.
Okay.
Retrospectively.
The IMA, is that in the folder that you shared with me? No.
I don't
see it. Okay. I'd like to get a copy of that.
That's our IMA with Natick is complete. The IMA with Framingham is not complete. That's
okay.
definitely not in the folder. But I think Would upload the IMA with Natick.
For the near future, we should be covered because we've figured in enough water to cover
The whole district. Yeah.
district. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're really not building that out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Plus, there was a buffer on top of that, right? There was an extra.
Yeah.
That's true, but we did, in the legislation, we promised to reserve a certain capacity for future growth. So if that's used up by the existing properties, then, that's probably not in compliance with the
Yeah.
legislation. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I think you'll just want some method to be able to determine what's a violation, whether it's on a percentage, if the target's that 65 gallons per day capita and people are X percentage over for some duration, right? People may leave for vacation and the toilet's stuck and just running, and they fix it when they come back a week later. But we've had some small systems where people aren't paying for the water individually and they're letting broken fixtures run. And I'm giving you kind of an extreme case, but if you don't have the ability to tell them what's allowed or not allowed and then take action to deal with it, address it, get it fixed, or shut them off, then
Yeah. I mean,
open
this
to
is
whatever that is. But
structured around unaccounted water, so making sure we don't have leaks in our mains. But if there is overages, yes, it will be caught in those annual reports. So, okay.
Ask Will a question. Sorry to bother you. I know you're earlier you were like, "Hey, thanks for waking me up, Liz."
No worries.
On these Toll Brother projects, do you meter? I mean, we're going to have a master meter before it goes into your project, but do you have a meter for every unit in the project, or do you just?
Yep. So
Like
I can't speak. I believe I'll try to speak for the home building group. So the 67 townhomes will likely be individually submetered. What we do in the apartment side is we do submeter each unit. So we're allowed to bill back to the tenants their water usage. So we'll have one master meter. We pay that one monthly fee. And then we will bill the individual apartment unit owners
Okay.
their pro rata share.
So if there is that violator that Jared was just talking about that has a bad fixture, you're going to be able to identify
That's
that
right. Yep.
that
And it's a good point too, because it does sort of help from that perspective. If someone's got a $500 a month water bill, that there's something amiss in that unit, we see it right away. We don't waiting 6 months to figure it out.
Okay.
How are you setting your rate?
We've not, so this will be a first where we're actually setting a rate to a system that we're helping design and build. So generally it's always set at whatever the municipality is charging us. So we don't add a fee on top of it or anything. It's just a straight pass through. So that would be the same system here. It would be a straight pass through at whatever we end up paying Framingham for the water usage.
Will, could I ask you another detail about the rental facility? Maybe true for the elderly too. One or the other both have a community center, and the rental units have a community center with a swimming pool.
Yep.
And I don't recall any role for that in the calculation of water use.
Yeah, I'll let Liz answer, but you don't have to, it doesn't go into the calculation. The calculation is only based off of your bedrooms.
Right.
Yeah.
But there will be a swimming pool
There will
apparently.
be.
So
Yep.
I think we need to have something in here about this water not being used for swimming pools.
That's fair. You could use, we could get water trucked in for that.
And
doesn't that usually happen for a pool? Isn't it cheaper to truck in water than it is
For
to
the
use city
initial-
water?
Yeah, for the initial fill up, it absolutely is. Yeah.
But I can imagine a day when the water level's a little bit low, or
There's going to be a
Yeah.
hose into that pool.
want to hose it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that should be written in here because that's not a good use of this water.
Liz, oh, sorry, you're done?
Well,
So-
I had a
Okay.
little more to
Go
that.
ahead, sorry.
Sorry. You also are proposing to use, this is outside of this water district thing. But it's a very related question. You're proposing to use a couple of those wells that were not sufficient for your drinking water, but you're gonna keep those for possible irrigation or whatever you need for that.
Potentially, yeah, that's still under exploration, or Liz, you may know better.
Okay, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Can
But
I-
yeah, let's go ahead.
Just a quick question, Liz, that I just had in my notes. Is there a master meter on the sewer where the sewer goes out? Is there any way to meter the sewer going out, or do they meter the sewer going out?
So typically when you have both sewer and water, you're just metered on your water and then that's how your bill is established.
Yeah.
There will be a master meter on the sewer before it goes to Natick. So
Okay.
just before the city line. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Our intermunicipal agreement with Natick leaves both options open. We can either use just the water usage, or if you guys decide you'd rather put a master meter going into Natick, you could do that too.
I think we have to meter going into Natick just because the weight, well,
I would think you'd want to.
yeah, I think we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think our IMA still leaves open that the choice on how to bill can be either.
Right.
Okay.
Leaves it open.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I may ask the MWRA that question as well, because again, we're reporting to them as well, so they may have that requirement. And right now, that's what we've been talking through.
Or Sean's.
Oh, thanks. Sean?
Yeah, I was gonna point out that I think it is MWRA's decision, but both Natick and Framingham acknowledge that that's the wastewater meter isn't very accurate. But metering the water, there's a whole bunch of meters and deducts we're gonna have to do, which you're gonna have to do anyway to get the rates. Because there's meters that, there's several meters that don't go to the Natick sewer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That'll just have to be built in because there's the meter for the apartment building. That sewer actually goes back to Framingham. That has to get built that way. Then the dairy doesn't, and then any ag meters obviously get deducted from the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any other users that become water users in the future that aren't sewer users. But that's still probably more accurate than the sewer.
I think the MWRA is going to require a master meter. We did meet with them. Was it last week? It was last week. We met with them and we were going through what their specifications would be. So they had put on the table that they could own the meters or the meters could be owned by the district and built in accordance with Framingham and Natick standards. But MWRA is still going to review and approve. But I can reach out and get just clarification on that. I mean, we would love to not have to put in a meter, but I think we're going to be required to. So I can circle up on that one.
Sounds like if the sewer meter isn't as accurate as water meters, we probably would want to bill off water and not trust the sewer.
Right.
You will bill off of water, but I think we're going to still have to report our usage of the sewer to MWRA based on the meter readings. And we can maybe follow up and supplement with the water meter readings as well, but I can ask that.
You also may not want to pay sewer rate if we're doing hydrant flushing or there's other outdoor usage that doesn't go down the drain. If you're paying 1-for-1 on the water draw, again, I don't know what percentage it'll be, but if you've got any kind of outdoor non down the drain usage, you'd be paying for the sewer fees for any of that as well. So, and it's just operationally good practice to know how much is coming in, how much is going out, even if it's going out different areas. It's a good threshold to make sure, you know, what's going on there. So.
Yep.
Good to know.
So this section here, metering, it's under water conservation, just acknowledging that all customers will be metered and then pointing back to State of Framingham requirements. And then we have water emergencies, so giving the commission the authority to implement restrictions or suspend service in the events of various emergencies, drought, fire, contamination, natural disasters, or any other emergency supply disruptions. So in case somebody hits a hydrant and you have to bring down a portion of the line to repair that, or and the drought regulations, you do have the draft drought management plan. Those are a little bit more restrictive. So we do touch upon that here as well. State of a water supply emergency, and pointing back to Mass DEP requirements.
That's probably actually an important and uniquely Sherborn section that I don't know how to wrap our heads around, but there is the potential, because the system goes through a section, obviously, that doesn't have other hydrants. There is a potential where there could be a fire, say on Meadowbrook or on Coolidge Street, where, you know, 100, 200,000 gallons of water would get used on a fire. There should be a mechanism written in here where the district shouldn't have to own that. If it's a non-district use, because they're going to get billed for that water, but the fire department's going to use it.
That's a good point.
And I mean, it's private. The hydrants have to be available. The fire department's going to obviously demand that. We would want that, but
Is that details for the IMA? Because that's Framingham billing the district for emergency use.
I don't know.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know that it's in the IMA. I think it should be in these bylaws where I would see that the town of Sherborn would be on the hook to pay the district back.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Ooh.
In fairness, you're using private water. At that point, once it went through the master meter, it's private water, and the town of Sherborn's
I get it.
to put out someone's house fire, say.
Wow, that's complicated.
And they should get paid back, because there's going to be a note to that. It's not uncommon that you'd see 40, 50, 60, 100,000 gallons for a house fire.
Marion, did you say is that scenario addressed in our draft IMA right now with Framingham?
No, he's saying it should be the town.
I don't think it needs to be in the IMA.
Yeah, it needs to be in our bylaws.
I see, because Framingham is just going to charge it either way.
Right.
So it's really just a matter of.
It's gonna hit the master meter.
Going to be very expensive water.
Oh, yeah. The fire department has a lot of money. That's a different rate, isn't it?
They have tons.
Certainly, if the water's there and we have a fire, it's going to get used. But
Oh, it's getting used. If there's a red hydrant, it's getting tapped. Yeah. And it's probably me that's doing it. You don't want to take it for free when
right.
someone else is paying the bill.
Good question.
Usually we sneak in a Natick and take theirs because nobody knows, but
There we go.
I'm gonna I was gonna look at like Linfield or Grafton, but I think maybe Linfield might be the only example that I could find that it's a separate district and how they handle this. So I'll do a little research to see if there's examples out there, if this has been explicitly defined and addressed. So good question, Sean.
Wow.
Dover
It is.
might
I just
have
got-
some too. There's hydrants in Dover that are privately owned. I don't, but Dover has lots of weird stuff going on, so maybe that's a bad example.
Okay.
Nora Lynch did just say something about Glen Ridge, which I think is another odd example.
There was a relevant chat from Nora Lynch. Nora, maybe you want to just read it to the group since you're.
Yes, I actually own, I live in Sherborn, but I own a property in Dover, and it's on Sterling Drive, right off of Glen Street.
Hmm.
And some of those properties, some have private wells, and some use Natick water supply. So I can see what they say because I'm on Sterling Drive, which I own. We have Natick water that we pay for. So there's a trust that it's called Glen Ridge Resident Trust. That's like the Glen Ridge Water District. That there's a couple people that handle that. We have water meters and everything, and then they deal with. We get charged by Natick. So I think that would be the same thing, right? If there's a fire. So who should I can send you that person's name if you want to call. His name is Bob Zokoff on Sterling Drive or Yorkshire actually. So if you want to get in touch with him, I can actually send you his information.
Okay.
Wants to call him.
I'll put, does somebody want to contact? I just don't want to put it on a chat. If somebody wants to contact me, let me give you my, I'll send you my info, my email on a chat, and I can connect you with Bob.
Just send it to me.
Thank
I'll
you.
forward it, Nora.
Okay, I'll do that right now. Thanks.
Hey, Sean, have you ever run into the case where you had a fire and you tapped a Natick hydrant and they sent you a bill, like on that side, the Everett Street side or anywhere?
No, we wouldn't pay it anyway. But no, that with municipalities, you know that's kind of just an agreement. We do lots of mutual aid to the other towns. You wouldn't do that. But
Yeah.
you know, this is totally different because this is private.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
this private money going in to pay that meter. I mean, you don't meter your own. You know, the towns don't meter their own hydrants. They just
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. They're not
and
paying
it's
for the
kind of-
water.
It's a given that that hydrant on the town line is going to get used by Sherborn when we have a serious fire. It just is what it is. But we
Right.
send each other equipment all the time when there's fires. So
Okay.
That's a good catch.
Since you're talking about odd items, what do you do when you like flush the hydrants a couple times a year?
If you're
Hey.
talking, yeah, so usually the water operator does it, not the. I can't speak for Sean.
You don't have
So,
them.
yeah, in this scenario with your hydrants and your thing, that would be a cost of I don't know what the water quality is like and if it needs to be yearly, so on and so forth, but it would be, I would presume, a cost of operations, right? You would be paying Framingham for the cost of that water, and we would try to do it to a minimum, but I don't think you could get around paying for that water in that scenario.
Got it.
Liz, it said there was possibly 10 hydrants on the system. How many would be owned by Sherborn? How many are on that run?
Oh, give me,
No.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Not all 10. There's some of them probably on the property.
Oh, actually, I think when I was referencing that, those are new on the right of way. So hang on, let me see if I can find that. I don't think I was counting the ones in the development. Kind of didn't seem fair to do that.
Okay. So that's every 400 feet.
Yep. Key intersections as well. So, and then we'll have one right at the connection. There is currently one there, but we will be removing and replacing that one.
Jared, how many gallons do you think you use when you flush a hydrant?
10 to a million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wildly different answer depending on the conditions of the main and a bunch of other
Yeah.
things. So,
Yeah. I thought I put you on the spot.
yep. I don't have a good answer. I think Sean's answer was great. 10 to a million.
Hey Liz, can you do me a favor? Can you forward me the whatever you have for design right now? I'm in a little bit of a pickle with Eversource right now they tried to pull a fast one on me on Speed Street.
Okay. Right now,
Right.
all I have to release is what we've submitted for MIPA. So it's a high level, like
Oh,
it's an 80 scale plan. I don't have details, but
okay.
it's
All right, never
something. And it
mind.
has plans and profiles with it. Okay. All right. So good question to dig into on the fire. Financial management and funding. I mean, this is pretty generic language we have here, just saying the rates are going to cover the cost of all the MWRA charges, maintenance, capital costs, department service, administrative and operational expenses, and long-term planning and infrastructure renewal.
This is pretty covered by all those things, but we'll be paying fees to Framingham and to Natick.
I can, that's a, I'll put
IMFE, what else they're called.
Framingham and
Or just-
Natick charges. Yep.
Yeah, a portion of their operation and maintenance costs of their town,
Right.
we would pay our proportion.
Okay. Does this cover it, you think? Just adding Framingham and Natick charges?
Yeah.
Okay. And then talking about a conservation-oriented billing system, so a tiered water right system that has kind of, your first X amount of gallons is at a lower rate, and as you use more and more and more, we're going to charge you more for that to discourage people from filling up their pools, for example, to do that. It's a standard practice.
Does Framingham have a rate structure like that we can
Yep,
top?
they do.
Okay.
I-9 mitigation, should be more. This is a requirement, inflow and infiltration mitigation. So this is related to leaky sewers. We don't want to send groundwater or stormwater to Deer Island to be treated. So we want to make sure that one, I-9 doesn't happen, and then when we have new connections to Natick, there is a requirement to pay an I&I fee to Natick, I believe, depending on how your IMA is structured. So
the IMA specifies that.
Yep. So just again, kind of making sure you have that authority here as well. So just defining, I don't think I defined that acronym before I put it in there. Betterments. This is if the district was ever looking at expanding. Betterments never make anyone happy to get them. But if you were to go and lay sewer and water in the entire district, there is usually a cost that is put back on the residents that that infrastructure goes by. So this is again standard language taken from Framingham, giving the commission the authority to do that if you ever see the need to. It doesn't define what the betterments are because that would be based upon the cost of the infrastructure and how it's structured and done, but it's just allowing you to do it. And it does say like if citizens ask for it, so if you have everyone down Meadowbrook Road, they're like, we want water, bring water down to us. This is giving the commission the authority to have 100% of that project be funded through betterment. So dividing it up based upon the linear feet going past each resident.
Liz, doesn't that allow them to charge betterments on the Coolidge Street, the Kendall Ave residents? Now?
Uh,
Because we're running
no,
right by a handful of houses on Kendall that don't have water and aren't going to use it.
you have great developers coming in that have offered to pay for it. So we're not going to get into a betterment battle.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so you already hit it. Meadowbrook is the
Yeah.
trigger.
Yeah, I was just giving an example of another road that
Yep.
isn't being served at this time, but is in the district.
Got it.
Like Meadowbrook.
Reporting records and public access. So the district is going to be on the hook for doing annual reports. So reports have to go out to reports have to be available to your water users, citing where you get water, the quality of the water, and then we'll also have to have our reporting going to MWRA and DEP. And just this is kind of also just blanketly saying that we'll have public documents and be recording, kind of what's going on, what's been repaired, what's been looked at, what's the finances, making it an open door, open book entity, I guess.
Jared, do you do any of that?
Yeah, there's a we report to DEP. There's an ASR, annual statistic report, that's done online. We, as the operators, are obligated to do that. And then there's the consumer confidence report, which is a summary of the water quality, basically, that has to get sent out to all of the users. You got to have a couple different methods posted online, have hard copies and mailings or postcards and other things. There's a few different methods, but you got to get it to the actual users of the water in the apartment buildings and so on and so forth. So,
And Jared, are those public documents? They
Yep.
could be just town or anywhere else.
yes, yeah, they could be town hall and mailings, and there's a couple different methods you have to try to do to reach people.
A lot of times the consumer confidence is posted online as well.
Yep.
That information. So that's where I would get information. I'm in Grafton, so that's where I find my information. Because our water's terrible. So got a lot going on. Okay, so that's our annual reporting, water compliance reporting as well to regulatory agencies. Yes, Jared just covered all of this for me. I don't need to say anything else. And then sewer compliance reporting, an I&I monitoring and mitigation plan. There really won't be one to begin with because there isn't any. I think really it would just be a look of this is our water usage, this is our sewer usage. We don't have any I&I because we have brand new infrastructure. And then our reporting. Record keeping as well. Basing this, I think, a lot on what I saw in Framingham and other bylaws, but having maps of your system is 100%, like a very important thing. Making sure you know what infrastructure you own and where it is. Keeping as-built plans of any new connections, making sure again that you're building out and understanding that map. I'm sure Sean can talk about for ages how hard it is to track down and find things once they're buried and under the ground, and any easements you might have. So, and keeping records on billing permits, O&M as well. So these are just a listing of those things. And this is just giving public access and transparency to those records. And then severability and amendments allowing you to, so once you adopt these, they go into effect. You're allowed to amend or repeal them. These are the procedures set up, and severability, if any of these bylaws are deemed invalid, the remaining provisions are still in effect. So that's how we ended it out. So, on my plate. I'll do a little research into that fire nuance that Sean brought up. And then we'll also, I think we solved a lot of this. So then also going to define maybe a clerk or an emergency contact. I am going to save back this working copy tonight with these highlights in there, but we'll work to edit those and get those clarity in there. And then I'm also going to check in with MWRA on the master meter. I think swimming pool prohibition would be in the regulations, not in this bylaw. So that would be where that would lie.
Can I add one or two more thoughts or comments?
Absolutely.
It might have been in there and I might have missed it, but it just being clear where the limits of ownership and from a pipe repair or leak perspective and who owns the cost of the water should there be a leak. So let's say if there's townhomes and somebody's got a leak, so on and so forth, they may still be responsible for that water, depending on the decisions that you make, payment for that water. Oftentimes you run into who is responsible for the repair on the piping, right? If there's underground service to a building, where is that limit of ownership of the infrastructure and who owns the repair underground on which side of the valve, things of that nature.
Yep. So it's been a minute since I've looked at our water regulations. Those might be in there where we decide, define from curb stop in or gate valve in.
Yep.
Okay. So you limits of ownership, leaks, who owns the water, where's the delineation? And what did you say about the MWRA? Or was that's my note? Okay.
Didn't specifically say MWRA,
Okay.
just who owns the cost of the water, right?
Yep.
So sometimes it's been leaking, right? Homeowners get a big bill and then they say, but I'm not paying for that water. And so it leaked on your side of the system. So it's your water.
Yep. Yeah.
And then, again, I'm not sure I understand the whole meter structure here. So I guess just being clear who owns which meters, if there's some obligation to calibrate or what interval they need to be changed. Obviously, making it clear to private owners that tampering or access to the meters is necessary, so on and so forth. Just
I'm gonna reshare in just a second.
I saw some of that in the regulations.
Yeah, I think all of this, I just opened the regulations. So I think that's where we get into, we have a lot of definitions here. So we get into ownership here.
Okay.
Within public ways.
Liz, are you able to expand the view of that page so that we can read it on the screen?
Like that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
District owns the water meters, remote readers, and associated metering equipment as described herein.
Yeah, so Jared, I can send you the draft regulations. I think this is going to get into a lot more of your nuts and bolts and how we're operating. The bylaws establishing authority to act really is kind of the intent. So
yep. Understood. So then this probably covers my other comment of, cross connection requirements, for backflows and things of that nature.
Yes, definitely. That is a requirement that we have to address that, I believe. I'm just going to go up to the table of contents.
You can send it along, Jared, too, if you want to take a look at that stuff.
Yep.
I've got it.
Okay. Then
okay.
Those are my only other comments. So
yep. Cross connection contaminant. Yep. We have a section on that. So okay. Great.
Do you want to talk about the regulations at all? Are we doing that tonight?
What do you think? Should we, the water regs?
I had some questions on.
Why don't we, since we're all here, we're gonna need to have some, figure out when we're all available again to keep moving forward, but we're here now. So why don't we do, see what we can,
Jared, do you want to stay on for this, or are you glazing over? Are you good? You good? Or
I think it'd be best if I review that separately. We can comment on it on the side, depending on, because it's probably lengthy. But
okay.
were there any other questions or comments for me in any other realms? Or
I did. So rate setting and incorporating our intermunicipal agreement rates and the I rates, just kind of helping us come up with a billing rate. Can you help us with that? Can you guys all like kind of digest all that and help us with come up with a rate?
there's aspects of that we can do, like, so again, better understanding the regulations and what you're going to require from the operator. There's a couple. We could probably get some high level costs on operational costs. What I won't know is some of your business expenses, right? I don't know what you've got to do for compensation for any people sitting on the participating in the district management. I don't know if you've got insurance or other things of that nature. If you've how you're handling the billing side of things and bank accounts, so on and so forth, accounting efforts. So that piece might get outside of our realm, and then you've got to consider having some kind of funding. I don't remember if last week or last month we talked about an emergency reserve, right, for bigger issues, emergency repairs, things of that nature. But then you got brand new pipeline, but you've got long-term replacement. You got to be viable long-term, and infrastructure will age, and you've got to do some level of plan for some level of replacement over time. So
You can help with that, or that's kind of something.
That gets a little out of our day-to-day realm. Sometimes engineering firms have some stuff on that regard, but or there may be costs associated with the construction activity that can be looked at and factored out, depending on the pipeline materials. 30, 50 longer for years of service, something like that. So.
And what do you need from us? What do you need from us to furnish us some sort of a proposal?
Yeah, I mean, high level, we could probably get you in the ballpark. I'm presuming we would be doing the monthly sampling. We can kind of take a stab at what is typical for this size system. That's something I don't know where the engineering sits for the pipeline, but we need to consider where the sampling locations would be. It's a little bit different where it looks like a substantial portion of this system is going to be on private property. You got a handful of users on the trunk line and maybe a significant amount of users. So where, access to and whether we need to do our routine monthly sampling within the private property without having to go into somebody's home, ideally, if there can be a dedicated sample station somewhere in a publicly accessible type area. But then we need kind of upstream, downstream, and depending on how many samples DP requires. But we can kind of take a stab at the bacteria and routine chemistry, assuming we're doing some level of flushing yearly. We're going to inspect. If there's only 10 or so hydrants, we could, within a day, we could do inspections on all hydrants. If we're doing any kind of meter reading manually, or depending on what type of meters you've got, gate valve exercising is minor, probably in this case. And then if depending on backflows, I can't imagine there'll be too many backflow devices that need testing. So we could kind of drum up, that and the basic annual reporting, some kind of high level budget for that aspect of it.
I think that would be a consulting agreement with him at that point, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So at some point, we're going to have to figure out how to secure someone to do this.
Yep.
All right.
That's been really helpful.
We need to do that really soon.
Yeah.
We need to do that before they draft their final EIR.
All right.
But you have money to do that.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
How do you have money to do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't.
Right.
Well, that was one of the things that I think we were hoping that Toll and Kennedy Wilson might be able to contribute basically some seed money into the district so that we can we can get some of that stuff going, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Will, if you and Jeff can go back to your respective purse string holders and see if any kind of seed money could be
Yeah.
given.
Do you have any sense of, because the first question, we're going to be asked, how much?
I don't know how much.
Yeah,
So,
I guess maybe
10
that.
or a million.
Yeah.
So 10 to a million.
Pay to the
Somewhere in
order
there.
of Mr. Sean. Oh, never mind.
That's my answer for the night.
Just like Flushing.
I mean, I guess Jared, I don't know, do you have a sense, or would you be able to provide us a quote or something to be like, all right, this is how much it would cost to essentially get the initial work going?
Yeah, if you give me tomorrow, I can kind of get you an order of magnitude maybe on our end. Shoot you an
Okay.
email with that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Get us started.
Yeah,
And then we'll add 20%.
yeah, and then add on that.
Yeah.
And we could go back to the well, right? If we need to.
No pun
Can't
intended.
Now I'm really falling asleep.
Yeah,
We've lost him.
if we could go back to the well, we wouldn't need any of this.
We wouldn't need any of it. We'd have a whole new set of problems. So
Yeah.
it's worse, I think.
All right. Well, that's great. Yeah, if you could do that,
Wow. Thanks.
Jared, that would be awesome.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
If you're good
Jared,
with
I
me,
just
I'll-
dropped my email in the chat so you can have my
Okay.
contact information as well, and I can connect you with Will and Jeff and everyone. So
Great. Thank you, Liz.
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right. I'll sign off. Thanks. So have a
All
good
right.
night.
Thanks,
Wow.
Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
That's helpful.
Do we have enough, do we have enough bandwidth to get into these regulations?
I don't know.
I don't
It's a
know.
good question.
A few questions. We could start.
We can start in none.
Yeah, why
I
don't
have
we
my
see?
list of questions. We could go through it. I did have one that maybe Liz could help out on me.
Yeah, so at least you could make some progress for
Yeah.
our next meeting.
Let me get these. up.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Oh, I have this again. I have to download this. Hang on. I'll
So
get it.
the one that I'm trying to think. So we're talking about the water regs. There's
Yep.
one that's I can't
I
remember.
started off with sewer.
Oh, you want to start with sewer?
Yeah, just have it on the top of my page.
Oh. Okay. Let me get
Set
the
our-
sewer.
So I'm trying to
No, thank you.
think.
Bud Light, if they have it out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
We'll be in
what
person next time then.
In person.
Yeah. I think we have a January 18, 2026 draft.
I am just opening that now, and I will share my screen when it's all up
Is that
and
the one you're
running.
on? Doesn't matter at this
Yeah.
point anyway, but we'll just.
Mine still says August.
It does say August, but
Yeah.
it's
But
called.
the file
titled-
name, I saw that. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Why not? Sorry.
Maybe we should redate that one as well. Wastewater.
Okay.
So you already had some comments. And Liz had some comments and you had some, Andreas. I just went through quick.
I didn't have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah.
Except to say commission instead of city, I think, but
Yeah.
and I may have done that incorrectly, so please
I
check
don't
it.
know. I've got that in there too. I'll hit on that one too.
Can you expand that a little bit so we can read it?
Yep.
Or expand it a lot?
Should be the same. You have that? Oh, I see. It comes up on your computer. I get it. So you would just start with my quick list and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can go from there. So I had on page 5, there was the bottom of page 5 says cross connection. I just had a question for you, Liz, on sewer. Are there cross connection issues on sewer, or is that mostly a water term?
It's mostly a concern when it comes to water, but it is a connection. It's where you're mixing water and sewer. So I don't think we reference it any further.
Does that, okay, I mean, it can stay in there, it's just a definition, but I didn't know whether the definition was there errantly.
Yeah, I can see if it's
Or
in
it had to
here
do,
again. It's
it's
mentioned
not,
twice. Okay, so it's defined on inflow when we start talking about I and I. So it's only mentioned in the definitions. Um, but a cross connection could be also from stormwater, is where we're defining it here. So that might actually be, yeah, this definition doesn't really,
I didn't know whether it pertained to sewer. I'm sure it's in the water.
oh, any other approved source. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just noticed that. And then, if we're good with that, I'll go to the next one, which is page 7. We had some contact comments about drain layers license.
Oh, yeah.
And
We're not licensing anyone. That's what we talked about together.
Okay, but who does then? Because
We are going to pick from a list that is from Natix.
Okay.
Or something like, wasn't that where we ended up, if that's what we would do?
Yeah.
But that we weren't licensing anyone authorized in writing by the commission, but we weren't going to license anyone.
Okay.
So is it,
I look, there's no mass drain layers license.
no,
Like-
it's a lot of DPW's municipal engineering departments just want to limit who can work on their infrastructure. So do you want me to hold this pointing back to the town of Natick or strike it?
I think it should point back to
Yeah.
the town of Natick, so at least we have something to go by.
Yeah.
Although we're going to have to certify and license the installers ourselves, so that would get us off the hook if we.
I think we
Yeah.
were thinking of relying on our our Jared to recommend also. But I think that's
Yeah.
fair. I don't know. I need to ask Jared. We need to ask Jeremy because I can't remember where we left off with that.
Okay. Well, that was one of my questions anyhow, just so
I
the
think
state
that's
doesn't do it.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
think
Sean?
Natick is totally appropriate.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, it's the most circular reference thing I've ever seen. One town
Right
calls
here.
the other town for a reference, and then you turn around and call the same person back for a reference on the same contractor.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're good on that. We got notes on that. Page 10 this is just page 10, number 2. This is kind of, it said, if you go down to the last sentence, it says all work shall on a private sewer shall performed by a licensed contract, which is a typo or something. There's 2
Okay.
shalls there. All work shall on a private sewer shall be
Oh.
performed.
Or the first shall can.
Yeah, you can go. Strike the first shall.
We shall.
All right. And then also on page 10, number 4, connection, no person shall connect to the district without commissioner approval. Is there a reason to put anything in there?
Wait, slow down. Where are you? Sorry, I was just getting that shall out of there.
All right, sorry. I'm on same page, page 10, number 4. Should there be language in there showing that the state is going to mandate an ITA if they do add to the sewer?
Yes.
Because it just says no person shall connect to or enter the district system without the commission's approval, but it's also more than that. We have to do an ITA for that.
Only if they have a private well. If they're getting water off of the Framingham, the new municipal water, you're fine. So I will.
So they don't need a an ITA for the sewer, but
So,
they do water,
um,
right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
The water.
yeah. So if you have a private well and you connect to the sewer system in the district, you are then taking water from the Concord River Basin and discharging it
Right.
out to
I-
Boston Harbor and Deer Island. So that's where they're saying you'd need an ITA, even though the overall threshold for an ITA is 1 million gallons per day, and you would be at like 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just below, just under.
It's yeah, right. Um,
If there's a
So-
leaky
Could
toilet,
be.
Yeah.
maybe 1 million leaky
That
toilet.
fixture.
so yeah, I was it's very
All right,
um
I think I misinterpreted that. I think I was thinking water.
no, it's if we're putting water from your town going to Deer Island.
Yeah.
So yes.
Nothing there.
Okay.
Page 12. Page 12, number 2. It says construction saying all building sewers and extensions shall be designed and constructed in accordance with town and native DPW standards. Should there say anything about North Sherborn Water Sewer District standards, or are those just totally based on Natick?
Right now they are totally based on Natick, but you can
Even though we have
have
rules,
this.
I
Yeah.
guess that's construction standards. I guess we don't have that, right?
Yes. But if you ever do, we can just add it. So worst case, you have this here. Someone calls and says, "Hey, I need your standards." You say, "We don't have those yet," and you point them to Natick.
Okay, perfect.
Can I ask a question about that construction standards? It says
Yep.
all sewers and extensions. What are building sewers? I mean, sewers within the building? I mean,
No, coming from, I would
Nope.
imagine coming from a building.
Coming from buildings within sewers within a building would be fully subject to the plumbing code and would be jurisdictional under your plumbing inspector. This is all things outside 10 feet from the building. Out is where we would be coming in with our standards. So building sewers would be connections just from a home or some other property or entity, and extensions would be, I would think, extensions of your main.
Whatever's in the street.
Yeah.
sorry, what would extensions be?
What's in the
Extensions of,
street,
yeah.
Okay.
probably,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Building sewer, I mean,
And
can't
we
you
can,
say?
go ahead.
I mean, can't you just say all sewers and extensions?
Sure.
I was kind of thrown off by building sewers. What's that?
Yeah. Okay.
Highlighted, page 13 highlighted, and the number 7, there's some highlights down there. We're gonna change that. Right, I think somebody put highlights there but didn't add to it.
Oh,
Drain layers license issued by,
Yeah,
we have to change all that, right? Because that goes
Yeah.
back to number,
yeah,
page 5.
yeah.
I think, do we just get to delete this now? Because page 5,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
That would help, otherwise it's gonna be redundant.
yeah, I think so. So page 5. Oh, I went past it. Oh, okay, that's just a definition. And then I go down.
I mean, I don't have a problem with saying they need to be licensed by the Commonwealth if in fact they do license drain layers.
I don't think they do.
Okay.
So I think I can just say,
Yeah, so
we'll
on
just
page
say
5.
licensed drain layer because we defined that term already.
Mhm.
Maybe it's capitalized. That's probably the right thing to do.
And then up on page 7, it tells you what a licensed
Yep.
drain layer is. Okay.
Yep. I think we got that solved.
That's all I had on the sewer.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else? Any other members?
Not on the sewer, but I have water.
Why don't we look at that?
Okay.
We're here.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Look for my water here.
Okay. Hang on. Let me get the water up.
I did copy some files. I could send them around too. I got some the
Well-
Brenningham water permit we could look at sometime if we want to copy that for our permit, some fee structure stuff. I just Googling around, getting some stuff. I
cool.
could send it around.
Cool.
Same thing with Natick. We got like their permit form and their cost structure and stuff like that. I could send it around so we could look at it
For,
for the sewer,
okay,
but that doesn't have to do with this document. I just added this in my notes that I have
Yeah.
that stuff also. So we could all look at that, maybe try and copy some of that permit form stuff.
yeah.
But on let me see, on the water, I made it all the way to page 22 for my first one.
All right. Look at that.
Back on.
50% down.
Yeah, because this is a long one. All right.
22.
Are you guys all working off the one where,
Yeah, whatever you sent me.
okay,
Yeah. 15E. There was something I said. I said bottom line, useful question mark. However, all costs and expenses associated with the installation of a meter outside of normal business hours shall be borne by the property owner. Commission has the right. Oh, I think it was this one. The commission has the right to change the size of the meter without charge to the property owner. Do we really want to have anything? Do we ever want to be changing the size of doing anything that cost us anything, or is that?
or is that maintenance?
Yeah. Commission has the right to change the size of the meter without charge to the property owner. I guess that doesn't mean we have to do anything. It just seems like it's an odd.
But it says in the preceding sentence where a meter is improperly installed by others or is the wrong type or size, the property owner shall be required to furnish a meter, blah, 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 blah.
Right. So if it's the wrong size, then why would we be changing the size?
That's a good point. Okay.
Just a question.
Yeah.
And then same thing on that same page, number 16. Also really should be I forget where I was, but everything in here should be of the owner's expense. Prior
Okay.
installation of the meter complete plumbing on it. So all meters, sewage on inspection originally be installed by the property owner at its expense and inspected by the commission. At the commission's discretion, the commission may, at its expense, replace such meters in automatic reading devices. I
So
guess
this
that
is
just
giving you the ability if new meters came out, like I don't know when this happened, but people used to have to go up to and actually read your meter, but now they
Right.
can just drive by. So towns or municipalities, water districts made that choice on their own that they would have savings in labor costs and they replaced the meters without expense to owners when they
Okay.
did that. So it's, I guess when AI takes over, you
Right.
guys can just flip that way.
Right. That's right. We could just ask AI what so and so used for water last
Mhm,
month, and it'll tell us.
Yeah, right?
Okay. All right. Leave that. Page 23. 19A. So I guess that was the one I was just on. The commission annual. I have my notes. We shouldn't be in the meter installing business. B also says at our expense the type of work. So I guess that's the
Wait, it says the commission will provide plumbing specs to enable the owner to prepare premises for meter installation.
so we'd have to come up with plumbing specs. The commission maintains an annual meter installation and maintenance program upon notification. Commission install.
I guess we do.
So we have to have a meter installation and maintenance program. Who's going to do that?
Jared.
Who did that? Jared. Thank you.
I vote. He's not here.
All right.
Here we have the commission installing a new meter again, whereas before it was the owners.
So typically water meters are always installed by the water district. It's not done by owners unless in the case of like Will and Jeff's project where they're going to have large vaulted meters in
Right.
their roadways. That's kind of a special circumstance. And it's just done for quality control to make sure that what you want is there and that it's installed correctly and no one's messing with your meter and getting free water.
So what I was wondering is, you guys go down, you blast the water main in, down the road, and we get the services connected in the road, and now all of a sudden those houses have Framingham meters in them, and as soon as they're ready to turn the water on this new main, somehow we have to get a North Sherborn Water Sewer District meter on it and start
Yep.
reading that meter. Who does that? How does that happen?
So I think in this case, it's going to be considered part of the construction project.
Okay. Thanks, Will.
Anytime.
So yeah, so there's three of those. I guess there's only three of them, but somebody's got to do it, and it's got to be
3 meters.
yeah, it's going to have to be scheduled so it happens
Yep.
as soon as the main's chlorinated and they're ready to turn on the tap to the house.
Maybe that's our phasing
Yeah,
of ownership.
yeah, but the meter's going to have to be in place because then it's on our dime starting then. So somehow that all has to get sequenced
Yep.
to work
Yep.
properly.
Absolutely.
Out of mind. Okay. Okay, 20A. This is more for us, I guess, but this is the use of water from unmetered hydrants. So on a construction sites,
Yep.
Ordinarily, I think there's a rate structure in from Framingham too. If you want to use water from a hydrant for construction purposes or any other water, you can purchase it from us through the hydrant using quote unquote our meter, which water departments have meters that go on one of the outlets of a hydrant. It's a big apparatus that goes on there. It's got a valve. You can hook it up. It's got a ball valve. Sean knows, I'm sure. A valve, a meter, and then an outlet on there. And the contractor's allowed to use that. You read the meter when you bring it in. The contractor rents it from you. If we're going to do that, we need to have one. We need to have it somewhere. We need to have someone who can pick it up and carry it to the contractor and read the meter and allow them to have it. Like who's gonna oversee that? Someone has to do that. If we're gonna
Yes.
have it in our language that we can give them a temporary.
So I think again, that would go under the scope of services potentially with Jared. I think this is something we want to talk to him about, but the commission would get an application or permit to do so, and then Jared would get authorization to release that equipment to them. We'll have to see if they already have that type of equipment available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd have to pay somebody to come out.
Yep.
The contractor, look at it. Plus that meter would have to be certified at some point, calibrated.
Yep.
At some point or go through a calibration program. So, and I think I was looking at Framingham, they have got a rate structure for 2 different ones. There's you can rent a meter from them for a small size, like a garden hose size or a small size, or a meter that's large, maybe a 3-inch if they're going to be loading water trucks or whatever. I don't know when they're going to do it. But if they do build a project up on top of the hill on the MBTA land, the contractor could want to buy some water from us for site work or
Yeah,
dust control
absolutely.
to have
Yep.
all that in place. So I don't know if that's for a question for you and Will, or just a question for us that I wanted to bring up about.
That is a question.
The rates.
I should say that kind of water use isn't calculated into our IMAs or agreement on volumes of water with Framingham at all.
No, but hopefully we'll still come under.
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, how would we regulate that?
Is that 20A that you're?
That's
Sorry.
20A, yep. 20A, when I send rate stuff around, it will show in there as where am I? Framingham water rates.
I mean, Mary, to answer your question, I would imagine because it's a temporary use, it would just get absorbed into the excess capacity that's built into the agreement with Framingham.
Yeah,
Right. And if, let's say that happened at some far in the future date when we
Or
have
at
nearly
max.
exhausted our excess capacity, then we would just tell the contractor, no, sorry, we don't have the capacity
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give you that water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or we could decide that we only want, say, X percentage of the excess capacity to be available for that purpose.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Like you could probably specify to that contractor how much water they can use, right?
yeah,
Well,
But
I would think in the grand scheme of things, if a project is exceeding your thresholds just during construction, that their long-term use would likely also exceed your thresholds, and you'd be looking to amend your ITA. So you'd be going through a notice of project change with MIPA, an update through WRC, and then amending agreements with Framingham and MWRA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
It
language.
might be a bigger process that we're kind of
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through right
So I think the
now.
way that we've set up the district also, if a project that size were to be proposed, it'd have to go through town meeting anyways.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
seems like they should. It's a
all
big
of the paperwork
undertaking.
is just
Yeah,
gonna
that
have to
would
get
be part of
redone
the
again, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to remember that use.
Yeah.
Just for point of interest, the hydrometer backflow device is available. Deposit of $500 required for a 3/4 inch setup and $2,000 for a 3-inch setup.
That's Framingham.
Yeah, so they do have a rate structure for it in there. And then that's a deposit. The water use is billed accordingly and then deducted from the deposit. So if you lose less than $2,000 worth of water, so I guess we'd have to come up with a rate for the water, how much we charge for. Or that would just be the water rate, I
just
guess,
be the
the
rate,
standard
probably.
water rate without
And
sewer.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
it's a good question. I don't think for the purposes of like our articles of organization that we need this for the ITA, but something that can be a continued discussion maybe when we get through
Yep.
everything, those rate structures and whatnot. It's great that you're diving into it now.
Yeah. Okay. I only have a couple of more before everybody gets tired.
The private hydrants under 20B, that would refer to like the hydrants that's on the property of Coolidge Crossing or Meadowbrook.
Mhm.
21A. I thought there were under 21A entry canceled a bunch of cities, but I thought there were more cities in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last city is.
I'm reading city or commission. I don't even know why city's in there.
Yeah.
So maybe
Because
town.
City.
I plagiarized from Framingham and didn't take it out.
I
All
thought
So
they
right.
were all out. I thought there was a couple of extras in there, but maybe that's just because they're not in blue.
Oh,
There's one at the top that doesn't have a dotted line going to it, so
right. Okay.
should just take out
yep,
an A
I'll do
and
a control.
all the
Thank
cities.
you, guys.
And then 22A shut off and resumption. What is that? 22A section I. Commission may shut off water service without notice or So I guess we talked to Jared. I guess that would be him. I guess he answered my question. That would be him that would turn off
Yeah.
the water and turn on.
Yep.
The
He's kind of your operator is how you could think about him.
yeah.
Yep.
Because I was wondering who would do that and where would keep the tool. Section 5, which is page 29. Section 5, 3. Fire pipes shall be constructed in accordance with the City of Framingham's construction. Should there be any mention of Sherborn Fire Department in there? Or does it just have to do with City of Framingham's construction standards? I guess that covers it. Unless
Yeah, so it's
does Sherborn
reflective.
have any construction standards?
They don't for water because you don't have a water system in town.
Yeah, or for fire pipe
So
connections. Maybe I don't know whether they run a different hose size. Fire pipes shall be constructed in accordance with Framingham construction standards. Framingham may have a different hose size on their connections than
so for
Sherborn.
like the FDC, the fire department connection that you would connect into a building, is that what?
Just wondering, yeah, fire pipes shall be constructed in accordance with city framing. I don't know whether that has anything to do with this.
Okay. We
Might
can
not.
kick it over to them. Might as well,
I don't
right?
know. Just a question.
Do you want me to send it directly to your fire chief to ask him if they have standards?
You could ask him if he has. Do you mind?
Yeah, I don't know the
Yeah,
answer.
ask him if he has standards. If he doesn't, we'll just go 100% by Framingham.
That's fair.
Okay. If you guys are good with that.
Yeah.
Then I had on number 5 down here, installation of fire water main design by the cutting edge. The owner or owner's contractor shall arrange at least 48 hours in advance for an inspection by the commission before backfilling the installed fire pipe and appurtenances.
Okay,
Who's
which
gonna-
one?
Who's going to inspect that for the commission?
Are we talking about the kind of
Fire
things that
pipe.
are carried, rolled up on the fire truck
No.
or what?
No.
No, the owner or owner's contractor shall not backfill the
Yeah.
installation.
So I would think this would be, in a way, your procedure for accepting new, sorry, did I go way up? New connections. So when there are new connections, you're going to have somebody going out and installing your meter and doing inspections to make sure that those water lines are again constructed to meet the standards of the district, which align with Framingham. So I would say that it might fall into the scope of that overseeing entity.
So they're laying the water pipe down the road. Somebody from Jared's company would be there inspecting that. We'd be paying them to do that, or we have someone from our commission.
So this is for new connections. So fire pipe is when you're coming off of your main for a sprinkler connection to a building. This isn't talking about the overall construction project. Yeah.
So let's say the farm, I guess that would be the farm. Let's say they want to do sprinklers there and they put a line in for fire protection.
Just trust everyone, or do you want to have an overseeing entity? I can put it right back.
But it does say we're supposed, the commission the language says that we're supposed to inspect it before backfilling.
So I think for their designee.
Yeah. So I was just mostly that was for the board. Who are we going to have inspect that stuff?
In general,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Right. So
If we want to pay for a clerk to
go do that, yeah.
I'm not sure how fire pipes fit in with our general plan and our
I think
volume measurements and all that.
Well, if
this is down the road, right?
yeah.
Or-
Well, if the orchard, let's say the orchard or the farm up there expanded and the building code said they're mandated, they go over 7,000 square feet, they have to put a sprinkler system in according to the building code, then they're going to want to
Oh, a sprinkler system.
put a sprinkler, yeah, connect a fire pipe to that, dig a trench and connect it. Then somebody from our commission is going to have to go inspect the work done on that. Who's going to do that? You want to do that? You have time? Steve's going to do it.
Is total ignorance of the job.
Yeah, a qualification. Yes.
Yeah. So just questions for the board mostly. I didn't mean to
Okay.
bore you guys. But it's just a question I had. Same thing with 10C on page 31. Same thing. Who turns on? Only the commission shall turn on a fire pipe. You got that, Steve?
Yeah.
You gonna do that too?
That is kind of weird. I
Yeah.
agree. There's a little disconnect with something. There.
Well,
Where is that?
that's page 31.
10C.
Yeah, 10C.
Mhm.
Only the commission shall turn on a fire pipe.
Wow.
This might be covered though when we go into.
After inspection or
Newly
approval, newly
installed.
installed fire pipe, proper installation, testing, approved backflow prevention, and bond requests. The commission shall turn on the water service.
I think
Well,
we
yeah,
can have
but-
a note that says the commission or its designee somewhere in the definitions,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm wondering.
As long
like-
as it's
just as a broad sweeping.
there.
Yeah. That's what I think needs to happen. You know, we can.
And then the
Commission means commission or its designee, which, or their authorized employee, agent, or rep. It's already there.
okay.
Well, that's under commissioners, but the commission, we should put that there and the one above too, if you know what I'm trying to say. In the definitions, it says Commission, North Sherborn Water Sewer District Commission.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so
I
just,
Yeah.
Just in case we want to have somebody else.
or their designee, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
And-
So that's covered there.
Okay.
But I think we ought to add it to the commission definition also.
Yeah. I just added it.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry. Where are we? We're on.
The last one I had was page 33, section 6, number 7. Bottom it says testing, but I guess Jared answered that to the commission. The commission shall conduct annual or semi-annual test inspections applicable to backflow. If his company does that, I don't have a question about that for us, like who's going to do that. And if commission says, if the definition of commission is us or
Our
a
designee.
designee, then we're covered on that.
Okay.
So that was all I had.
Awesome. Thank you for going
I'm
through
sure you
these.
wanted more.
Yeah, darn it.
Yeah, I wanted to spend a little more time on this last section that I didn't have time to do, but that's
Okay.
okay.
Well, we can do it next time.
Next time is fine.
Okay, I will have these uploaded with today's date and my changes in there. I'm gonna stop sharing now. Awesome, that was great.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
My
progress.
gosh. All of a sudden you're taking full responsibility for our
I know.
We're doing
all
it
our
as a
documents.
yeah. Well, we're all doing it together and it will go through review as well at the state level. You know, you will have WRC and MWRA also scrubbing through these documents. So that's something I may ask to them once we think we have a solid draft. These were included in the MIPA documents, but that was also 1,000+ page document. So I'm not sure how much it was actually reviewed. So I may just peel them out and say, hey, these are going to come as part of our draft. You want to take a look at them now? So they can get a
That would
little
be
bit
great.
more, little more detailed review in that method, I think. So, okay.
Great. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I
Thank
guess
you.
You'll be able to come to future meetings because
It's helpful.
at every stage, I think we have questions for you.
yeah.
About the water sewer district, but about the response to MEPA, the FEIR that we're gonna be a co-signer with you on, so.
Yes, we're working through a draft on that now too.
yeah,
When is the
absolutely.
next meeting?
Yes, good point.
Probably 2 weeks.
The 12th?
I'm away on the, I'm away, but please carry on without me.
I'm going to try and go away too.
Yeah.
Maybe we should all go away that week.
Oh, wait, I can't be away. We don't have another commission member.
Hmm.
I'm flying home.
Oh, yeah.
That was not good planning, but
February 12th.
yeah. I arrive at midnight.
All right. So
Late meeting.
we'll start at midnight.
That sounds good. We got the 13th. Oh, Friday the 13th.
The 12th, there's a select board meeting scheduled already.
Oh, the 12th?
Okay.
The 12th and the 26th. It's always the
Oh.
second and fourth Thursday.
Oh wait. Oh, is today the 5th Thursday of
Yeah.
the month? Okay.
Oh,
That's
Right.
how we snuck
well,
it
that
in.
works.
So
So we need to do it
so that
on.
means we could actually do it next week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. We could.
Fabulous.
I'm available.
I could do it the 5th.
I
I'm already double booked for 2 hearings, but
He's here.
But we have a fair amount of work to do, so the next Thursday available would be the 19th.
okay. Let's definitely hold that. And
like that better.
On February
Yeah.
19th.
Yeah, yeah.
And in
I
the
don't want to
meantime,
be a pain in the
I've
butt,
been
but
going through
February
School-
19th is the
the
school
meeting
vacation week.
response to your,
It is.
Oh,
to your draft.
does that matter to you? You'll be away?
I'll be away.
The town may be able to help you with.
I don't actually know if
And same with there's only one abutter letter in there. It's kind of the only
is Marion talking to somebody?
I think
negative
she's talking to
abutter.
them.
Oh,
And with the help of a colleague on our groundwater protection committee, we've kind of been going through that and figuring out what a response would be to that abutter letter. I mean, the MEPA response to you did ask you to respond to the points made in that letter. Maybe you haven't gotten there yet. It's down in the pile of letters attached to your.
Yeah. So with MIPA, they scoped us to just respond to their questions related to bedrock blasting. They did not scope us to respond to that full letter. We are working to schedule a meeting with our MIPA analyst. We reached out today for dates, and I will put that on the agenda just to confirm. So when I read our certificate, I didn't think I had to respond point by point to that letter. It was just
That's good to know.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the bedrock blasting was the only thing that really kind of is worth a response, I would say.
And that's yes, they agreed with you. So we'll confirm that with them. That's my instinct, is that we don't have to have a formal response. So okay, so are we shooting for the 19th?
All right.
Yeah.
So the issue with the 19th is just that that's school vacation.
School vacation. I'm well aware. Yeah. So you going
I will-
skiing?
I will probably be up in Vermont, but I mean, I'm not going to be actively skiing at 7:30, so
Okay.
very likely I would be available to join remotely, but just so that everybody was aware that because I don't want to presume, but if any of you guys have kids that are in school and you were planning on being anywhere, then
No, I'm sitting skiing out this year, so my kids are gonna go to my parents' house for a little while. So
Even worse time to have a meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right? My fun time.
No.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get my priorities straight. No, let's pencil it in just because that
All right.
is for a while. Okay. I think with
Okay.
that, I'm gonna sign
Okay.
off. All
Okay.
right. Thank you all for all your effort in this.
My gosh,
Thank you.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay,
Thanks.
take-
Thanks,
Right.
Will.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
yeah.
So do we want to have a commission only meeting next Thursday night? Do we have anything to talk about without having, is there anything we can do
Do
without
a Zoom.
having our parents here?
Yeah.
Will and Liz.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It
Well,
would
we
make
probably
this
need
whole
to
thing.
make a decision about hiring a not consultant
Operator.
operator.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's not like we've actually decided that we're going with Whitewater, right? In fact,
Right.
I think up until tonight it seemed like we were probably going to be going with SWSS.
Right. Because we
Yeah,
haven't heard from
he's
them.
invested a lot. At this point, he's sat through 2 meetings.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
been
So-
hugely- I think either one is qualified to help.
One thing we could do
But
is
that's something that we could probably discuss and maybe
Just
decide.
us.
we
Yeah.
asked.
But we should, that's why I was thinking we need to get them to put numbers together. 'cause
Right.
that
Well,
might
we
have something
formally
to do.
asked Jared to do that.
Yeah, so we
Tonight.
should ask.
So
We did? Okay, so he's gonna put, and,
Right?
and
I mean, tonight we just.
Yeah.
we should ask
That's the same with
SWSS.
this.
So maybe I should invite,
But I feel like we need to, don't we need some sort of a scope? Liz thought she might, like if we send a draft to Liz of like what a scope of work that they're bidding on and
I don't know. Jared
What do you
seemed to
understand what.
understand. Yeah. And maybe we could talk to Kim if she
Mhm.
wants to attend, and maybe she would understand and be able to put something together. We could get that out of the way, and then I hate having them both on the same meeting.
No, I don't think
Going
that's a
against,
good thing,
so-
And
idea.
unless, do you feel like you have a good enough grasp of what it was that we basically presented to Jared in terms of what his scope of work is going to be, and
You could
would
present
you
it.
be able to basically just send an email or just have a phone call with?
I could. I actually sent her a whole outline of what we're installing and probably what we're going to be up against with all of this. And I haven't heard back from her. I sent that on the 22nd. I haven't heard back. So,
That's pretty recent.
yeah. So I don't
Maybe
know.
if you can follow up with.
I
her.
can follow up. And if she does, let's say she does want to just attend, even if she's on for 20 minutes, we just kind of go
Yeah.
over it. We all
Yeah.
kind of pick her brain and ask her to send a proposal the way we asked Jared
Yeah,
as a group, both of them,
yeah,
Yeah,
and we can see what comes back in.
yeah.
And it's just
without
next,
the developers.
yeah,
Yeah.
without the developers, and it's just next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
If we have a meeting next
Yeah.
Thursday,
Is anyone opposed to just an online meeting?
no?
It would
Because
have to be online for me anyways.
Yeah.
on the 5th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that'd be fun because obviously Stephen didn't bring me that Bud Light. So
They're like course.
you do.
Sorry.
Oh, is that what happened? I should have said any beer. Why so specific? So what is next Thursday?
The 5th.
Okay.
This will be Zoom, right?
Zoom.
Do we have time to advertise for it?
Yeah.
We have 48 hours,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because it's not a
I'll need to.
well, Monday's
Right.
Groundhog Day, but that's not a real holiday, right?
All right. So we're over.
It is. It's not on my calendar. It's crazy.
So, and maybe we'll have Jeremy back then too.
Yeah.
7:30.
Yep. What's our agenda to talk about these regulations and any other?
Yeah, we go back.
I would just put
Just
in
like
the agenda. I would probably put in any minute and then just discuss bylaws and regulations and draft all the documents basically.
Okay.
Water operator consideration.
Yeah, consideration of water operator. That's probably it.
Okay.
If at this point we only have 4 members, is a quorum still 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. When will we is there a timeline for, or are you just gonna see,
Days usually,
what is it?
30 days.
Oh,
It hasn't been posted yet, though.
It's been posted.
Oh, it has. Okay. Where is it posted?
I don't know. Jeannie said it's posted on the website and then the paper, whatever paper is.
do we know anyone?
No.
Yeah, I mean, we have various associate members, but I mean,
Well, I was hoping one of them would
yeah,
apply for it and
yeah,
to get appointed, but I haven't seen anybody for a while.
yeah.
We haven't seen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason why we were like, we should probably just repost it because
Yeah.
Yeah.
other than you, basically, it's not like any of the associate
Yeah.
members were especially active.
Interested. Yeah.
Uh,
And after seeing all this, I was wondering why. I was
So fun.
so active.
My
Like, what
God.
are we gonna
We
do?
have no visitors.
How are we
We've
gonna
got
do
nothing.
this? All right.
So
are we gonna
the minutes you need to look at because the December 10, which I have the wrong date,
Yeah.
but the December 10 one, all we had were two items. We talked to Kim and we voted on because they kind of sound like the December 3rd minutes.
Oh yeah. I think
So
I changed that
that-
though. I think
well,
I cut that
The
out.
one that I looked at earlier
Yeah.
today, and maybe I had the wrong email, they're just the two things because everything else is still in there.
Okay.
Just voting on the IMA with Natick and Kim. That's all we did that day at 9 a.m.
That was
9:30. That was
the 10th.
December 10.
Let me see where I have that here.
The minutes that I revised and sent back to you, Josh,
Mm-hmm.
I have as the 15th.
Those are
115, yeah.
Yeah, that's I haven't even looked at those, so thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Wow, awesome. We could vote on those tonight if we want, or no.
Yeah, if they look good. Minutes
Okay.
1016, is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, 115.
No, 10,
12, 10.
12, 10.
Or 12.
December 10,
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. I don't see where I have those here. I'll have to look for them.
I can forward you the email you sent.
Yeah, if you could do
I
that.
think it was the 20th, January 20th that you
Yeah,
sent
I
them.
thought I souped them up and sent them back again.
They looked better, but I think there was too much
All right.
in them.
I'm getting better at it.
We could do all these minutes next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. The minutes are a formality, I guess you have to have, but it's recorded and
I
the
know.
transcript is there. All right, I'll look for those.
All right.
Um,
Is that it?
Oh,
maybe
all right.
we can
Let's
talk about that next time.
Next time, yeah.
Yeah,
we have meeting scheduled. Blah, blah, blah.
minutes. Do you want to approve the 12 minutes?
Sure.
Move approval.
I make a motion to remove
Approval.
the minutes from December 12th meeting.
Okay. Marion will second because she read them.
Okay,
Yeah, I second.
Josh made the motion.
Vote.
Aye.
Steve, Josh,
Josh, aye.
Andrea.
We don't have to do roll call when we're all in person.
We don't have to what?
We don't have to do roll call when we're all in.
Oh my gosh.
The only reason
I can-
I like to do it is that it comes out on the transcript.
Oh,
So the AI picks up on it and it knows the names of the people who voted.
okay, AI. Steve, aye.
Yeah, right.
Oh, an AI, I spell my name with an A-N.
Yeah.
Marianne. Yeah, AI. Get it together.
Okay.
We've scheduled, all right, so should we move to adjourn or are we all set with our
Move to
business?
adjourn.
Second. Andrea seconds.
Steve moved to adjourn.
Josh, aye.
Andrea,
Oh.
aye.
Steve, aye.
All right, I think we're done.
We're all
right,
done.
10:06.
All right, 10:06. Adjourned at 10:06.